Welcome to part 4, and in this line we're going to look at another attempt by white to try and avoid complications, this time by immediately taking on d5 as the first move from our tab here, or starting position. This is the most energetic, I think, and most principled move. However, many of the subsequent lines are forcing, so many white players choose the more positional alternative knight d2, which we'll look at in the next video. Anyway, after takes on d5, it's very important that you take on d5 with the knight, so that you've got more pieces putting pressure on the knight on c3. Okay, this move sort of gives up the center for black, but you get quite a lot of counterplay and piece play for your pieces, because now, I mean, you could have captured here with the pawn, but this whole setup is a bit more defensive than dynamic. You don't want to play like that, so it's better to take with the knight, and this is what I really advocate for. But you know, like taking with the pawn if you need a draw and so on is good, and we'll look at that maybe one day when we are looking at the Queen's Gambit exchange. But this is the most principled move. So after knight takes, white continues queen d2 after black takes. You just continue again with the same idea, bishop b4, just putting more pressure on the knight. On c3, and here black has to play rook c1 just so that it's got enough defense. Now you chase away the knight on the bishop on g5 with h6, and after bishop h4, c5 immediately, and again you're getting counterplay. If you're worried by something like a3, that's nothing really to be worried about. Just take bc3, and don't be in a hurry to get the pawn on a3, because what you want to do is to develop a very good position. So remember your bad bishop on c8, you play b6 with the idea of exchanging it. The pawn on a3 is weak, the pawn on c3 is weak, so you don't have to hurry to take them, but this is much more long term and probably obtaining a better position for black. Just play b6. And here, let's say white plays c4. You have nothing to worry about in this ending. You just go on takes on d2, and after here, just retreat your knight to f6. And let's say bishop e2 by white, and after bishop b7, f3. The position is slightly easier for white to play because he has a bishop pair and a bit of a mobile and probably better center, but black is not objectively worse, so this is quite a playable line, probably the most testing of them. Okay, cool. So when I come back now, we're going to be covering part 5, which is the last line you look at and need to know to play this particular system.